All right, good morning once again, everyone. This is Andrew Roberts, Assistant Commissioner for Media Relations with the Southwestern Athletic Conference, recapping scores from Week 5 action on Saturday, September 28th. The Jaguars got a road victory over Arkansas Pine Bluff by a score of 31-7. Alabama A&M defeated Central State by a score of 63-20. The Alcorn State Braves defeated Mississippi Valley State by a score of 45-19. Kentucky State defeated Jackson State by a score of 33-25. Houston Baptist over Texas Southern by a score of 68-31. Defeated Grambling State by a score of 42-36. With that, we will continue our normal flow of coaches, roster of coaches in the order that we go through every week, and we'll be joined now by Alabama A&M Coach Maynor. Coach Maynor, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to jump on the call with us. And if you could please just give us an opening statement about your team's big win this past weekend over Central State.
Yeah, it was a good win. All wins are good wins, and we needed get back above 500 and get ready for this.
Conference recording started.
Get ready for this stretch run, SWAC play, and we got off to a fast start against Central State, Ohio, and was able to sustain it. We got a couple more bullets than they do, more scholarships than they do, and so it's kind of the way we expect and want to play when we play down to a Division II school, and we got a chance to get a lot of people in and rest up our starters and get some other guys some quality reps. And so it was a good win for the program, and now we got to get ready for the conference run.
Thank you for that, Coach Maynor. We will now open it up for questions for Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M.
It's Coach Connell, Luke Williams from the Black College Sports Page. How you doing this morning?
Doing good, Luke. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad at all. How good does it feel to get Jordan Bentley back to the old Jordan Bentley?
It feels great, Luke. I said it at the beginning of the year. Jordan Bentley's problem has been staying healthy. If we could keep him healthy, he would have a chance to have a great year. He's been injury prone for whatever reasons throughout his career. After his freshman year, he had a great year. He's been injury prone after that. So we knew the key was to keep him healthy, and he'd have a chance to have a great year.
And talk about the progress you've seen from Akil. Is he playing the kind of quarterback that you want him to play?
He is. He's playing at a high level right now. Akil is doing a great job of managing the game, getting us in and out of plays, and know exactly what we want to do. Last week he was 22 or 26 with 339 yards and 4 touchdowns. You can't play too much better than that. You got 4 incompletions out of 26 attempts and 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. He's played at a high level, and getting those guys the ball in the right spots and knowing where we want to go with the ball. We always say, you got a quarterback, you got a chance, and we think we got a quarterback, so we got a chance.
Coach Maynor, obviously you guys will get an opportunity to get back into conference play this week. You'll get Texas Southern. Can you preview that matchup for us?
Yeah, it's you can't look at their record. Their record said they're 0-4, but I promise you they're the best 0-4 team in FCS football. They're very explosive on offense. Dickerson and Corley, and then Johnson at quarterback. They're very dangerous. Those guys are right up at the top in the receiving, and Johnson is right there at the top as a quarterback in the league, and they can put up points and they can put up a lot of real fast. And the defense is solid, man. They got a good defense. They look very good on defense. And so it's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game. We're not sleeping on them, not one bit. They got a good football team, and again, they the best 0-4 football team I've seen this year. So we got to be ready to play. We got to keep executing at a high level on offense. In our defense, we got to get a couple more stops and sure up our special teams if we want to beat these guys this week.
Coach Maynor, good morning. This is Charles Edmond from WPRL. How are you?
Great. Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, Coach. We talked last week a little bit about the consistency of your team. It's been kind of a roller coaster ride. Talk about what you're telling your team in terms of being consistent. You think now that you've got a win under your belt, now that you're in conference play, maybe the consistency will kick in because, as you know, your team's been kind of up and down a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been that's the way it's been this season. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. So hopefully we can ride that ship, steer that ship straight, and get it going to get some consistent wins. And we want to play consistently for 4 quarters, and that's what we haven't been doing. So we want to get to where we could take it one play at a time, 1 quarter at a time, 1 half at a time, 1 game at a time, and play some good solid football for 4 quarters. And if we can do that, then we have a chance to win every game that we play.
Do you think this is just a process, a team just trying to learn how to win? And, of course, that's a process. It takes time, getting everything together, staying healthy, being confident each and every week. Is this just a part of the process? I know this is your second season. Is this all a part of your process here?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's more has to do with the schedule, just when the games were scheduled, I think if in our 3 wins, if we'd have had those 3 teams, the first 3 games, we probably would have started off 3-0, and then the next 2 losses, we probably would have lost 2 in a row, and vice versa. If we'd have had the 2 teams we lost to, the first 2 games, we probably would have lost, and the other 3 we probably would have won. So I think it's more the way the schedule fell than just, your team thinking that they're better than what they are, and then they have a lackadaisical practice or a week of practice or preparation and not prepared. I think it's just more the way the schedule fell and just us playing more consistently for 4 quarters.
Now, what does this say about this quarterback for Texas Southern that he could throw for 420 yards against a team at that level?
I mean, he can make all the throws, Luke. I mean, he knows what he's doing. You don't throw for 400 yards on mistake. So he knows what he's doing. They got a good passing scheme, and he got some good receivers, got some good weapons, got an offensive line that's giving them time to throw it, Luke. You can't throw for 400 yards if you don't have time. You can't throw for 400 yards if you don't have some receivers, and you can't throw for 400 yards if you don't have talent. So they got all of that, and we understand that, and they're not going to be able to sneak up on us. We'll be prepared, and we know we got our work cut out for us. Stopping those guys, containing those guys. You ain't going to be able to stop them. We got to contain them. We can't let 2 or 3 of them. I think they had 3 100-yard receivers last week. So we got to limit that to maybe 1 guy and keep the other guys around 50 or 60 yards and keep them out the end zone.
What do you know about the quarterback? How did Texas Southern get him?
I don't know, Luke. You got to ask their coach how he got him. I don't know. I don't know how he got him. All I know is he got a good one.
He wasn't known. He's a grad transfer, I think, from Florida Atlantic. So he wasn't on the radar, so to speak, before this.
Well, he wasn't on my radar because my quarterback led the league in passing last year, and I was satisfied with my quarterback. So, he wasn't on my radar. I'm not in that business of recruiting guys that already got pretty good players at that position. We were, especially the quarterback position. Now, if you got a linebacker or a wide receiver, yeah, you want another one. Or offensive lineman, running back, yeah. But at the quarterback position, he's coming into a junior year after leading the team in passing his sophomore year and had a good, decent year. We were pretty satisfied at the quarterback position. What we're looking for is a good quality guy to come in if something was to happen to him, and we still win some games and once he get back. So, and then, the way these kids are today, Luke, they look up there and they see Quill Glass, he led the league in passing last year. He was a sophomore. Oh, you got him for 2 more years? Oh, no, I'm not coming there.
Right.
I mean, just look at the transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? These guys, if they're not playing, they're ready to go, So it's hard to recruit a guy, a good quarterback, when you got a quarterback that led the league in passing as a sophomore. That's just the way these kids are.
And talking about transfer portal, I'm sure, or maybe did you hear about Cam's little brother leaving Howard after 4 games?
Yes, sir. I heard about that.
I don't know if you heard about the starter from Central last year, left after the first game. What's your feeling about the whole transfer thing and how prevalent it's become today?
Well, Luke, I just think, I think they're very selfish. That's what I think it is. You need more team players, and I think we got a lot of selfish young men out there today. When I went to Winston-Salem State as a freshman, I didn't start the first 2 games, but I never said anything about wanting to transfer. I wound up starting the 3rd game and playing as a freshman. But people stayed behind me, and then after I left, they played the next year. And that's just the way it was back then. You kind of waited till your turn. You had a good player in front of you. Once he graduated, then you play your junior and senior year. You kind of just went through the process. But now these guys, they all feel that they're better than the starter, and the coach is doing them wrong, and they're going to transfer. So that's what they do.
Well, how have things changed? Because you did make the transfer, but how have things changed when you made that kind of move to today? How do you think it's changed from today?
Well, see, I did it. I did it. I was already a starter, and I did it because I went with Coach Hayes. He got a job at North Carolina A&T, and I was his starter. And so I did it because he recruited me. He gave me my opportunity to play. He was loyal to me, so I said I'm gonna be loyal to him, and I transferred and went with him. So to me, it's all about being loyal, and I was, and so I said I'm going with you, Coach, and that's why I did it. Now these guys today, like I said, they gonna go and transfer for it.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Maynor, as always, sir, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We now go to Montgomery, Alabama, where the Alabama State Hornets will take on the Alcorn State Braves this weekend. The Hornets had a bye this past week and will be joined by Coach Ely. Do we have Coach Ely on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hey, good morning, Coach. If you would please just give us a recap of you guys' bye week and then preview your upcoming matchup against Alcorn State.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us on the bye was trying to get healthy, trying to get back to some fundamentals and things that we had. You kind of lose as you go through a long season. So we wanted to get better back at blocking and tackling. So we took some time out of team and put more time into Indy, so that guys could have more time to really drill the guys and work them back in the stance and out of the stance, and just try to get healthy and get as much rest as we could.
And, Coach, if you could preview your upcoming matchup against the Alcorn State Braves.
Well, I mean, we're going against the SWAC champs. I mean, these guys got a lot of talent in all 3 phases. Coach McNair does a great job of really motivating these guys, and they, with every play in all phases, you see them playing. They play hard. Just looking at them on tape, I mean, a lot of size, a lot of speed, and we got our work cut out for us. With the champs coming in here.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Ely with Alabama State.
Coach Ely, Luke Williams from the Black College Sports Page. Good morning.
Luke, what's going on, my brother?
I'm doing fine, my brother. I'm doing just fine. Would you say you guys are hyped coming off the win over Grambling?
As I told the guys, that Grambling game, it gave us a lot of motivation for 24 hours. After that, our focus went back on them and back on Alcorn. But anytime you get a win, it gives you a lot of energy, and especially if you get a win against a great program like Grambling, and with all that they've done for Black College and for the SWAC to be able to compete with those guys, it does give you a lot of motivation. But the key is now using that to move forward as we take on another strong opponent and the conference champs in Alcorn.
What do you think, and how is it to be playing your 4th straight game at home? Is that a kind of a level of comfort that you get or not?
Well, to be able to play the 2 of the top echelons teams at home, it is a level of comfort. But after this game, it's back to the Temptations. 5 games on the road, so it's short-lived. But anytime you play at home and get a chance to play in front of your fans, get an extra day, and play in front of your student body, that's priceless.
You got a win over Alcorn last year, if I'm not mistaken. anything you can take from that game in terms of how you defense them? That's part one. And part two, are you going to prepare for Johnson or prepare for Harper?
Well, you got to prepare for both. I mean, it's they two different kind of kids, but they both are great at what they do. So you have to be able to contain them and contain the run and keep the pass in front of you. And it's a lot of work when you're preparing for two different offenses. And but we got to find a way to get it done. And again, one thing that I take away from playing them last year and getting out of there with a win, you're talking about a game that went into 5 overtime. So, Ali versus Frazier. I mean, it's going to be punch for punch, and not going to be who hit the hardest, but who hit the hardest the longest.
Anything you take particularly from that game in terms of how you attacked them or how you limited them? I know it was 5 overtimes, but you did come out with the win without giving away any secrets. Any way to last year? Go ahead.
No, we just got to play sound football and not turn the ball over, and not and make sure that the kicking game, that's where the advantage for us came. Is we made more kicks than they made, and but other than that, it was a brawl from both sides of the ball. The game was won with 1 field goal.
Mhm. Mhm. Good luck on Saturday, Don.
I appreciate it, brother.
Hey, Coach Ely, good morning. This is Charles Edmonds, WPRL. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Coach, you talked about the Braves offense and dealing with potentially 2 quarterbacks. What do you see in Alcorn's defense?
Sound. They stout up front, a lot of leverage across with the linebackers and size, the guys that can run, secondary, long, lengthy guys. Do a good job in and out of transition with driving the ball. Linemen are sound, and just a real sound football team.
Coach, how excited is your fan base knowing you got the SWAC champs coming to town, your team's playing well, beating a good Grambling team at home, then a bye week, and then you're back at home this week?
Well, we'll see Saturday, when they get in here. The biggest thing is that our fan base has been, really going up with the success of beating, a Grambling at home and beating a Tuskegee. So, it kind of brings out some of those old Hornets that was on the fence. But the key is, we'll see Saturday. It's anytime you get a chance to come watch, some good black college football, they should come out anyway. So we'll see Saturday.
And looking at your schedule, Coach, during the summer, SWAC Media Day, I felt personally like you had probably one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the entire conference. Just talk about how you're able to get through that. Obviously, Kennesaw State was tough. You talked about Tuskegee. Just talk about getting your team through that and then the run of home games that you got coming up here. Talk about how that tough schedule kind of toughens your team as you got a good stretch run here with Alcorn starting Saturday.
Well, if you ask the trainer, with all the guys we had in the training room, I don't know if it toughened us. I think it kind of bruised us a lot. The key to all this stuff is, you play one game at a time. It's not a situation where you can take a schedule and go down the schedule and chart off your W's and L's before you play. You got to play every game, and it's a good brand of ball being played in our conference. And we going into the schedule, I thought we had the toughest schedule in the country, not just SWAC, with playing a UAB and coming back with the Tuskegees and Kennesaw and Grambling, and now you got Alcorn right up front. So, it's a tough schedule, but we got to play one game at a time and try to find an edge.
And Coach, this is Lute again. What do you think is has been the most outstanding part of your team's performance so far? What's the thing you've been most pleased with?
Playing through adversity. We've had situations where we had to play from behind and guys kept fighting. We have situations where morale leaves because of a turnover or it's a missed tackle, and they still been able to find a way to pull themselves up and be resilient. So a year ago or 2 years ago, when I first took over, we couldn't make it over the mistake. That if it was a letdown, that letdown was here we go again. But now it's from here we go again to let's go guys, let's make a play. So that conversation has changed. So that's what I'm most impressed with them, is that they're finding ways to win and they're finding ways to play for 60 minutes.
And if you were given an overall grade to your 2-2 team so far, what kind of grade would it be? Letter grade?
We still got some improvement. We still right on the cusp of a C+. I mean, we still got a lot of improvement to make.
And lastly, Coach, starting off with that good effort against UAB, did that put you guys, was it kind of like a told you so kind of game? I told you guys we could do this. I told you guys we could compete. We had a chance to win that game. Was that a momentum building, a confidence builder?
I think it was a big confidence builder for these guys, that if you go in a game and you're a 50-point underdog, and it's a game that you not could have won, but it's a game that you should have won, and and I think that put a lot of momentum in the team, that that it doesn't matter who you play, it's how you play.
Coach Hilly, thank you so much for your time, sir. We look forward to speaking with you again next week.
All right, thank you.
We now go to the Alcorn State Braves. The Braves capped off a very dominating performance this past weekend, defeating Mississippi Valley State at home by a score of 45-19. We'll be joined by head coach McNair. Do we have Coach McNair on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good morning, Coach. If you could recap your most recent outing, your win against Mississippi Valley State, and give us a preview of your upcoming opponent, Alabama State.
First of all, I'd just like to give my thoughts and prayers out to the Valley family. Those kids in the incident this weekend. So my thoughts and prayers go out to that family and the family of those young men and women that was in the accident. As far as the game concerned, I thought Valley came in with a great football team. They came in with a lot of fire, man. They competed. I mean, they really strained themselves. I think Coach Daniel, what he's doing under the circumstance with the kids he got, man, he's doing a great job with those young men, man. Hats off to that guy, man. He's those guys are really improved over the course of the year. Great football team. Well-disciplined football team. They only had 3 penalties. And we had 6 there, and third down conversion. We just got to improve on third down conversion, getting off the field and converting on third down on offense. We started off with a good drive, 19-yard pass from Felix to Pringle, come back with a 69-yard pass from Felix to Blair. Valley got on the board, and we kept off another score and make it 21-7. Right before half, we muffed for a kickoff, and Valley was able to get back and score off that. So just coming out in the third quarter, we played solid ball, I thought, on offense and played great defense. Not giving up on a touchdown after the halftime. So good football game, but, like I say, our team always have to improve, man. So we got a lot of work to do this week. Getting ready for a good, solid Alabama State football program. Coach Hilly's doing a great job with that group of kids, man. And, we got to be ready to play our A game again this week.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for Coach McNair with Alcorn State.
Hey, Coach, Luke Williams from the Black College Sports Page. How are you today?
I'm good, my man.
What's the status of Noah for this week?
We still working, man. Work in progress. See how he practiced this week and what's going to happen to him this week. So we still working, and I thought that Felix came in and played a extremely well ball game. So just see how Noah feels, and we'll go from there this week.
How much do you have to change switching from Noah to Felix?
We still throw the ball, we still run it, Luke, man. So we don't have to change too much. Just come in and let our Felix run offense if he need to. So he's done a great job in running the offense. So we don't change nothing. We just next man up.
What about Deshaun? I know he hasn't played a lot. Did he play at all on Saturday? And
no, he didn't play. He didn't play at all on Saturday. Look to have him back this week. Hopefully, see how it worked this week. Same as Noah, they come out and practice and see how well they can participate in practice. Be whether we play them or not.
Hey, Coach, good morning. This is Ty Miller. How are you doing?
All right, Ty.
Coach, I know it was a year ago, but that was a heck of a game last year, 5 overtimes. What most stick out in your mind about that game last season?
Well, it was a good ball game. I thought, just like I said, so we didn't make the last field goal, so we lose that ball game. I thought it was a very competitive ball game. I thought that both teams trained themselves and they competed well, and just come down to who make the last kick. So Alabama State made the last kick, and they pulled that ball game out. So those guys, they coach football over at Alabama State now. They good coaches over there, so they know how to win ball games. So we just got to prepare ourselves as coaches, our young men, and prepare ourselves for a battle when we go to Alabama State this weekend.
Are there any big differences you've noticed so far about the Hornets from what they fielded last season?
They big up front. As well as last year, they solid on both sides of the ball. Got a good quarterback, got a good receiver, got 2 good running backs in Bell and Gray. Receiver-wise, Jefferson, he's gonna catch the ball, and we just got to be able to train those guys, man, and play our brand of football. Up front on defense, Christian Clark, he's a big old guy in the middle, so got to deal with him along those other guys. So got a big long length of DB. We had him last year, so we still go compete with the same team we had last year. It's just everybody done got better, man, across the board. It's from a recruiting standpoint to experience. So it'll be another big battle for us.
And on that same note, Coach, you mentioned about people and teams getting better. Are you at all surprised at how well Alabama State has played this season, how they fared against UAB, and then for them to, I don't know if you call it an upset, beat Grambling 2 weeks ago?
No, I'm not surprised at all, man. Coach Ely's done a great job with that staff he got, man. And they flying around on defense. I think Coach Pierce is doing a great job of calling defense and what I see in the film. And the offensive coordinator is doing a great job of, so it's just that everybody's gotten better, man. I'm not surprised at all by Alabama State. It's a good football program. So where they stand right now, so we just got to go in and play a good football team, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach McNair, as always, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Right, appreciate you, man.
We now go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, where the Golden Lions dropped a 31-7 decision to the Southern Jaguars. At home, we'll be joined by head coach Thomas. Do we have Coach Thomas on the line?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning, Coach. If you could please just give us an opening statement about your team's last outing against the Southern Jaguars.
Great atmosphere. It was really a blessing and promising to see the community and everybody come out on the black out and support, the product, as we continue to change the culture and build a foundation going forward. The support that we saw Saturday night is tremendous, and that's a testament to these young brothers, starting to put an investment worth for investing in out. And so that part was great, and offensively, we kind of, shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, with a couple of early turnovers, and, you can't take nothing from Coach Odoms and his staff. They did a great job of taking some things away from us and showing us some looks, and, defensively, we started out well, created 2 turnovers, getting still, you can't turn it over, in championship mode versus championship team, and expect to do well, and had some special team, big-time plays that we had to give us some advantages. But, overall, we turned it over too many times, and you can't do that when you're dealing with championship team. That's a good program in which Coach Odoms has established over there. And, for all week for us, it was to beat a man, you got to beat the man, and we weren't able to do it. And we got a lot of growing to do, but I'm proud of our young men, man. They fought their tails off, but we expected that. We just got to continue to, build this culture and get a championship mindset. We say it's a meek man mentality, and, we did that in spurts, but we didn't do it overall. We didn't have a mindset of such. We had too many costly turnovers, excessive celebration, things that we don't coach and condone, and it starts with me, and I'll get that fixed. But, just from a private standpoint, just to see the relevance now, UAPB is relevant. And it showed in the product that was out there, and also just to everybody kind of looking and paying attention to this game. So we'll continue to get better and improve from it.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for Coach Thomas with Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Coach Thomas, Luke Williams from the Black College Sports page. I know everybody talks these days, all the coaches always talk about everybody wants to play fast. And I know you faced Southern before, even before you got to Pine Bluff. But the Southern's pace and the pace that it plays, is that throw off a team, or does it throw off your guys on Saturday?
No, we've been going against them guys from day one. They never ran not one different concept we hadn't seen in 5 or 6 years that we hadn't seen. They just did what they did and did it well. And it always helps when you got an athletic quarterback. When things break down, when you look at it, he's able to get an extra 9, 12 plays just with his legs. We wanted to, make him be a pocket quarterback, and the opportunities we did, he threw it to us. But the times we couldn't, he's just dynamic, with his leg. And the offensive line, those guys are big and massive. And when they can get foot to foot and put a hat on the hat, they can create a new line of scrimmage. Just a type of brand of football that they play, which is great, for them with the 12 personnel and some of the bigger packages. But we weren't overwhelmed by the tempo or the speed. We go against that, every week, and we was prepared for that part.
Your offense seemed to be a little out of step. I thought some of those turnovers, some of those passes, I thought like Shannon threw a couple of times off of his back foot. You said they gave you some different looks. What kind of stuff did they do to throw you off?
Just a couple pressure patterns, that we hadn't seen from them. And it's, I hadn't played the position, but I can just only imagine when you got bullets coming at you to be able to throw it off your front foot. So I think a couple of those he's just trying to get rid of it. And then a couple of them were just unforced. But they did a good job of changing up some looks and getting some 3-down, some 4-eye stuff, and being able to just change up some looks. And we didn't do a good job early making those adjustments. But at the end of the day, we got to take care of football. You can't turn the football over when you're playing, upper echelon, talent and coaching staff and players. And I thought that was the deciding factor, in all of it. We just didn't take care of football, and they did a good job of maintaining the clock and doing what they do best, and that's run the football and play a power game.
Hey, Coach Eric Taylor, South Democrat Gazette. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I know after the game you mentioned about not letting this loss linger, because if it does, it's a possibility it can turn into several losses. You got homecoming coming up this week. With that, sometimes you get distractions and things of that nature. How do you get these guys back refocused and, pointing on the task at hand?
Just talking about the mission, and the vision. It's still a championship mindset for us. The good part about it, we've lost a lot of games before, so the losing part is that's not anything new in the past. But just to see them lose and then be able to come back and have a great week of preparation, we just got to identify the reason why we played as such and make the necessary correction. But as far as getting them up to play, that's more so on us as a coaching staff. We'll be upbeat, we'll be flying around, and we'll make sure that we give them all the tools they need to play a good lane football team. So I don't expect a drop off. 4-2 beat 3-3 any day of the week, and just get this sour taste out of mouth. Competitors love to compete, so we just got to go out and give it one more chance to compete this Saturday.
And speaking about Lane, what do you know about those guys? I know, back in the day, years ago, Lane was, I don't want to say an also-ran squad, but, they were a lot of, I don't want to say a low-level squad, but they're a lot better than they have been in the past, something like that. What do you know about those guys?
I know a lot about them. Coach Barrows, he was at Jackson for some years, and NFL guy, and they do a good job. Got a big-time quarterback, 2 Florida kids, and a big-time wideout, and got some frat brothers, Jacoby Jones, in some form of the offense. So you look at the pictures the kids understand what they're doing, and understand the concept. So, we'll be ready and for a good team to come in here. And, like I told them, I told my guys yesterday, we ain't in no position to take nobody like the same way as, when we played Langston. We hadn't made it to that status where we can just show up and people just, bow down to us yet. So we got to go play. And the good thing about it, when you win it, you only get a certain amount of time to enjoy it. And when you lose it, you only get a certain amount of time to enjoy it. So Lane a good ball club, do some things in the odd front defensively, which, they'll get a chance to look at what Southern did and try to mock it, I'm quite sure. So we got our hands full, and we got to be ready, not only with the distraction, but a good ball club coming here.
Thomas, you got a nice game in the middle from Isaac Peppers. Talk about his development this season.
It's awesome to see the growth. Here's a kid who started a bunch of games for us as a true freshman last year, and, now he's a true sophomore, understanding the concepts and being one of those cultural fixtures for us defensively. So, to see him on a big stage as such, to run around and make plays and, and do some good things for us, it's just it's a bright future. It's a lot of freshmen and sophomores out there getting a chance to mix it up in that type of environment versus the Western Conference champ, and those guys, didn't bow down and they played pretty well, So going forward, the future is really bright for us. And like I said, for us, it's all about relevancy. And there was a lot of people tuning into that game. We didn't get the finish or the product we wanted, but we know going forward we got a great foundation to build on.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you jumping on the call, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Appreciate it.
We now go to Grambling State, where the Tigers dropped a 42-36 decision to the Prairie View A&M Panthers in Dallas, Texas at the State Fair Classic. We'll be joined by head coach Fobbs. We have Coach Fobbs on the line.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Coach, if you could please just start us out with an opening statement about your team's last outing against Prairie View.
Well, it was a beautiful day for football. Of course, having an opportunity to play in the Cotton Bowl is always amazing, for our kids and coaches. And, play against a really, really exceptional football team, Prairie View. They're very great, skilled guys. Good quarterback play and exceptional running back play. We had some problems stopping the running back, and we made a lot of people miss and ran for a lot of yards and scored a lot of points. And they did a really good job. We started out well, moved the ball well, scored some points, but didn't quite score enough and didn't quite stop them enough.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for Coach Fobbs with Grambling State.
Okay, good morning, Coach Fobbs. This is Mike Prince with Open Mic Broadcast Network. How are you today, sir?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
All right. It's no doubt there was an explosive performance by DeWanye Tucker. Was there anything that the Panthers did that was surprising, maybe caught you guys off guard as a result of a big day that DeWanye Tucker had?
No, I mean it was simple zone plays, power plays, and he did a really good job of making people miss. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get the ball in your best player's hand and allow him to beat one-on-one matchups and things of that nature. And that's what he did. He did a good job.
Now, Coach, we know that this game, and as well as your Bayou Classic, is always one of the determining factors when it comes to the West. But now you have another big game and somewhat of a rival game. You're going against Jackson State. How quickly do you try to get your guys to get this bad taste out of your mouth and don't let this game beat you twice?
Well, we've been conditioned to do things that way. It doesn't matter, what performance, how things happened the previous week. There's always a 24-hour rule, good or bad. So this week is no different. We're playing against a really good Jackson ball club. They have really good athletes. They play really good football, and they're well coached. And that's going to be the same thing that I say every week. When it comes to this league, it's a dynamic league with a lot of parity and a lot of good football players and a lot of good coaches.
All right, Coach. And my final question right now, I know it's a crossroad right now with your team looking for your first conference win. How would you describe the Grambling Tigers right now from your vantage point?
Well, we've been playing rather inconsistent in certain situations on the field, and then we have to do a better job of tackling. That's two things that I think that are glaring at this particular time. Some of that has to do with really good players, and then some of that has to do with with us being where we're supposed to be. So that's it in a nutshell.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck on the rest of your season, sir.
Coach Fobbs, as always, appreciate you jumping on the call with us and look forward to speaking with you again next week.
No problem.
We now go to Jackson State, where the Tigers dropped a 33-25 decision to Kentucky State this past weekend in the Circle City Classic. We'll be joined by head coach Hendrick. Do we have Coach Hendrick on the line?
No, actually, it's Coach Ron Dickerson, Jr., offensive coordinator. Coach Hendricks is caught in the air.
I do apologize, Coach. We did get that note, and we appreciate you taking the opportunity to jump on the call with us. Coach Dickerson, if you could please just give us an opening statement about the team's last outing against Kentucky State.
We played a really good team in Kentucky State, and, we got behind the 8 ball. They do a great job of running the ball. Very, very disciplined team in Kentucky State, and, there were some opportunities that we let go. We did not play well in stopping the run, nor did we convert third downs.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach Dickerson with Jackson State. Coach Dickerson, when you look at your upcoming matchup, Grambling State, what are some of the things that you've noticed about those guys on film?
Coach Fobbs does a great job, as he had mentioned earlier. They're a very disciplined team. Again, it's a SWAC game for us. It's going to be our first SWAC game, so we're excited about it. But those guys run around on defense, and they do a good job on the offensive side of the ball, of getting the ball to their playmakers.
Good morning, Coach Dickerson. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. When you look at the rushing yards, and we knew, speaking with Coach Hendrick last week, that it was a unique offensive style that you were going to be facing compared to what you face on a regular week in and week out. Was that part of the struggles with staying in the lanes to deal with that misdirection wishbone attack?
It was for the simple fact, again, that, preparing for that offense after you see spread offenses and different style of offenses, you have to be fundamentally sound, and you have to do every little aspect of the game. And, when we made the adjustment because of the way that they do their offense, they also made some adjustments. And, by the time we made the adjustments, they were getting a big run or, in that capacity. And so it gave us some problems.
Okay, and with that being said, just looking at the stat from outside in, when you see that you had a total of 85 yards, was that because you had to pretty much play catch-up, or just the defense was that tough to run against?
And I'm going to give credit to where credit is. They did a great job on defense. As I had really mentioned in the opening statements, we didn't do a good job on third downs. We hurt ourselves with penalties. But where we haven't been able to do is throw the ball. We had to, throw the ball a little more, yes, because we were behind and because they did a great job of eating the clock. So, instead of us running the ball and trying to eat the clock like we normally do, we had to, spread the ball out and throw it a little more.
Okay, now the Grambling game coming up this week, both teams coming off some tough losses and desperately seeking a conference win. We know about the X's and O's and keeping everybody leveled, and it's the next game mentality. But are there any pressure points that you're trying to stress over to your student athletes at this moment of the importance of this game coming up?
One of the things in following Coach Hendricks is live the next day, play the next play. And, that's where we're going. Our guys had a great workout yesterday. We're really excited. The mentality is we finally get to play at home. We're playing against a great team. There's a lot of history between it. But as long as we go out and do the little things right, it's going to be a great game, and our young men are excited about it. The non-conference aspect of our schedule is done, and now we're in SWAC play.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck to you on this weekend, sir.
Coach, I know you've talked a little bit about it in some of your previous comments, but if you could just pick, 2 or 3 things that you said would just be the keys to victory against Grambling State, what would you say those would be?
We have to be able to stop the run on defense. We also have to be able to convert on third downs. And we have to continue to do the little things both offensively, defensively, and special teams to not hurt ourselves. We had an onside kick that we got, but we had one guy that was too deep and ended up getting a penalty late in the game in that situation. We had to have, which was really good on offense, we had to have a 99-yard drive, which, when you look at it, it's having to drive the field, but there's a lot of great things that happen. Our defense, in some situations, on that drive right there, they stopped them on all 4 downs. So, again, we just have to continue to do the little things to put ourselves as a team so that the offense, can help the defense, and the defense can help the offense, and the same with special teams is we have to continue to play as one team. And as you watch us, that's what we're doing. We're just at a slower pace than a lot of other teams, but we're going forward.
Coach, we appreciate you taking some time in to fill in for Coach Hendrick, and you guys good luck this upcoming weekend.
Thank you very much.
We now go to Mississippi Valley State, where the Delta Devils dropped a 45-19 decision at Alcorn State this past weekend. We'll be joined by head coach Dancy. Do we have Coach Dancy on the line?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Morning, Coach. You could start us out with an opening statement about your team's most recent outing at Alcorn State.
Oh man! First, I would like to, send my condolences to the young men and the families of the guys who was in a tragic car accident this weekend. So, make sure you guys, say a prayer for those young men and their family. But overall, it was a great atmosphere down on the reservoir as always. Well played game for 3 quarters. I thought in the third quarter, 4 minutes left the game got away from us. They completed big time play on third down. I think it was 3rd and 6, and the guy caught the ball, and we missed a couple tackles, and he took it in for a touchdown. At that point, it gave him a 12-point lead at that game. At that point, then in the next possession, it was I think a 40-50-yard touchdown. On 1st and 10, they came right out. Gave us RPO pass and threw a big deep touchdown to one of their receivers, and I think that right there cracked the game open for them. But it was a highly competitive game, man. I'm proud of our guys, proud of the way they went down and fought, man. They fought the tails off, like I said. Take away a few big plays, man. I think we're right there in the game. Pretty clean game we played. I'm proud of our guys. They competed hard, offensively and defensively. Just got to cut out some of the mistakes, and I think we'll be just fine.
Coach, I know when Coach Pierre was on the line, one of the things that he noted about your team was, the discipline and only committing 3 penalties in the game. When you guys practice, every week, I know you emphasize playing the game the right way, but what has been, you think, the biggest factor in you guys being able to play more fundamentally sound, disciplined football?
Like you said, going out to practice and just working on those little small things, man. We believe in the small things around here. Technique and fundamentals. We believe, we preach it. We believe that win ball games, and right now it hasn't happened for us. But I tell you what, we're 0-4 right now, but I believe in this team. We got a long season ahead of us, and we won't let the record determine the future of this program or the future of this team. We got a lot of football left, and we just got to continue to do the right things and continue to play the game the right way. And, some good things are going to happen for us. And, we had a great day of practice yesterday, and, we, like I said, we went back and watched the film, and we're just going to, like I said, take this game and move forward with it and correct some of the things we could correct, change some of the things we need to change and move forward.
Coach, defensively, Tracy Tompkins, another superb outing. I believe he finished with 12 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. I think he even forced a fumble. What does it mean to have a guy like that on your defense, and what does he bring to your unit as a whole?
Oh man, just the electrifying energy he brings. He brings the energy every week, man. I've actually been with that kid for 4 years, recruited him out of Miami, out of Carroll City High. Man, he's just a great kid, man. A wonderful young man that loves to play the game the right way. He's a senior, and this season means everything for him. And as you can see, he's playing, and he's playing tough, and he's playing some good football right now. Hopefully that continues for that young man. But he just brings a lot of energy to this team, man. He makes our defense great, and he's going to continue to do that. And then start with practice, and that's the way he practices, and it transitions on to the game.
And, Coach, what do you know about your upcoming opponent that you'll face, Virginia Lynchburg, at home this weekend?
Right now it's kind of difficult because right now we don't have any film on them. So, all I know, they had a new coaching staff change last year, Coach Rome. I had a chance to speak with him when scheduling the game, but don't know a lot about the personnel, don't know a lot about, offensively or defensively. What we're just going to do, we're just going to go out and prepare, like we've been preparing, and, hopefully find some stats on them and see if they're a running team or a passing team by their statistics, throughout the stats, but don't really know much about them. The last time we played them here was 15, for homecoming, but that was a whole nother coaching staff, so I'm quite sure, they're a lot different now of a team. So we just got to prepare our guys well and continue to, like I said, continue to preach and to teach the technique and fundamentals of the game. And I think that wins game in itself. It's not a lot we're going to see that we haven't saw, such far, thus far throughout the season. So we just got to prepare our guys well and teach them, and get back to teaching the fundamentals and technique and continue to play a clean game. And, hopefully we come out on top this weekend.
And, Coach, my last question, you guys looking at your schedule will be at home, I believe, maybe 5 out of the next 6 games or something around there. But can you just expound a little bit about, getting the opportunity to get your guys, at home and playing in front of your fans?
It means everything, to play in front of, our fans, our community, alumni, the university. So, don't want to look too far down the road. But, yeah, we got a few games at home that's coming up. And we just got to, like I said, man, it's all about preparation, man. We prepare throughout the course of the week. And, it doesn't start on Fridays and Saturdays. It starts today. And making sure the guys doing the right thing throughout the course of the whole week. And we're just going to get our guys ready the way we know how. And whether it's at home or on the road, man, we just gotta be prepared for whoever we face and go in with a game plan and try to come out on top.
Coach Dancy, as always, I appreciate your time on the call and look forward to speaking with you again next week.
I sure appreciate it.
We now go to Prairie View A&M, where the Panthers defeated the Grambling State Tigers by a score of 32-6 in the State Fair Classic in Dallas, and we'll be joined by head coach Eric Dooley. Do we have Coach Dooley on the line?
Yes, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Coach. Thank you for asking. Coach, if you could please just start us out with an opening statement about your team's big win over Grambling State at the State Fair Classic.
Well, we know we was facing a team that was going to be a challenge. A lot of folks look at the record and say, well, the team is not playing well. But I know what Coach Fobbs brings to the table, and I know what type of team he has. Just unfortunately, they haven't got a lot of wins this year, but we knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. We knew it was going to be a game fought for 60 minutes. So we had the opportunity to go and play against a great football team, and, fortunate enough, we came out on top.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for Coach Dooley with Prairie View A&M.
Good morning, Coach Dooley. Mike Prince, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
All right. Congratulations on your win, sir. 64% of your plays were runs, 49 touches. What did you see different this weekend against Grambling with the run attack like it was?
Well, it wasn't that we saw anything differently. Like I said, we go in with the game plan to utilize the skilled guys that we have, and I think we have it, for us, the run game. We have some guys that can run the football. We have some guys that can catch the football. So it's nothing that we plan on one side of the ball. We game plan and just go out and just try to execute.
All right, now, Coach. Last year, this time it was a scenario similar. You beat Texas Southern, you beat Grambling at the State Fair Classic, and then heading to host Southern. It was almost, I guess we'd say, a no-show with a 38-0 win. What do you take from last year leading to this season and the approach that you might have differently as you prepare to go to Baton Rouge this week?
Well, we won't be going this week here. We have an open date.
That's right. I'm sorry, the next week. Yeah.
Last year take care of last year. Right now, we're focused on what's ahead of us right now, and we know we're going to face a good team at their home stadium. So we're preparing for those guys and get an opportunity to watch some tape and see what they bring to the table. Right now, they're playing some exciting football, so we know it's a challenge for us. But we don't try to look in the rearview mirror. We just continue to look forward and move forward and do the things that's going to help us to be a better football team.
Yes, sir. Now. It was noted that Martinez had a 36-yard field goal that was good. What range do you feel comfortable with Martinez sending them out to attempt field goals?
Well, I just try to gauge it. When you take a look at the young man, he has a strong leg. Just fortunate enough he has had the opportunity to do a lot of kicking, but he got a strong leg, so I feel like getting into the 40s, he can possibly kick a 40. Everything works out right, but hopefully we won't have to put him in that position and we can just continue to do what we're doing.
All right. And, Coach, we always know and hear about the Mortons and the Tuckers, but who would you identify as some of your unsung heroes for this weekend's past performance?
Well, this young man has been playing exceptionally well in this game. He played well last year, and he's just been a good guy for us, playing some great defense. Drake Cheatham, I thought he had a great game. He's just a student of the game and does a lot of great things for us. So he was one of the guys that I looked into that game, and he just had a great game for us.
All right, thank you, Coach, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good morning, Coach. Talk about Dewanye's game, how he broke the record for a single game rushing.
He just had we talk about what Dewanye did, but you can't continue to talk about what he's done. You got to take a look at the offensive linemen. They've done a tremendous job of blocking and opening holes for him, and he does what he does best. That's run the football. He had a great game, and the young man really don't worry about stats. He just worried about the W's.
Coach, defensively, you guys were able to get the stops that you needed, obviously to come out victorious in the game. Who were some of the players that stood out for you on your defensive side of the ball?
They stood out. Well, once again, Drake Cheatham, I thought he had a great football game. The young man was playing hard and did some great things for us. And then when you look at a guy like Jason Dumas, he was able to rush the passes and make some good tackles for us. You still had some guys stood out like Trashad Smith, had a good game, had almost 8 tackles, solo tackles. So we had some individuals, but collectively they pulled together and created the stops that we needed to get to come out on top.
And, Coach, you talked about Dumas in the stat line. You also had some other guys. I think you guys finished with 4 sacks. How big was it for you defensively to be able to apply that pressure and get some sacks on Grambling State?
Well, we know that they're going to push the ball up the field, so we definitely had to apply that pressure. And I was glad that we were able to get there. And not really counting the number of sacks, but I thought it was timely sacks. That's the way I look at it. It came at the right time that was needed. So those guys played hard, and that's what we asked those young men to do: play for 60 minutes, just leave it all out there. And I thought they did that.
Coach, last question for me. Obviously, you alluded to the fact that you guys are going to a bye week this upcoming week before you travel to Baton Rouge to face the Jaguars. Aside from healing up and getting some guys that may be banged up healthy, what are some of the things that you'll focus on with your program this week?
Well, we're going to continue to do the things that we've been doing. We got to continue to sharpen up on the execution. We got to be able to cut down on some of the penalties that we've been had. They did a better job, not what I was looking for, but they did a better job in the penalty phase, and just continue to work all 3 phases of our game to execute at a high level.
Coach Dooley, as always, sir, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This past weekend, the Southern Jaguars got a big win over Arkansas Pine Bluff in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, defeating the Golden Lions by a score of 31-7. We'll now be joined by head coach Dawson Odoms with the Jaguars. Do we have Coach Odoms on the line?
Yes, it's Coach Odoms.
Coach Odoms, as always, thanks for hopping on. And if you could please start us out with an opening statement about your team's big win over Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yes, before I give an opening statement, I just saw on Twitter about the young people that were involved in the accident at Valley, and we just want the coaches of Valley and the administration of Valley to know that our prayers are for them and their families. And we all hate to hear that, and we just want to send our prayers out to everyone else involved. Our statement is just really back against the wall, had played really well, on the road, and it's just getting your team ready to play each and every week and just trying to get better. And I thought going to UAPB and against a really good football team. Coach Thomas has a really good football team, high-powered offensive football team, very active on defense, and we was got to play really well. And we finally got off to a fast start. I thought our offense got us going early, and defensively we did, a great job of controlling their wide receivers and their running game, which has been one of the best in the conference. And just an overall team win. I thought special teams, we had some blunders, but watched the film, got a chance to make some corrections, and really keep getting better. And I think that's the biggest thing is that you're going to play against some much improved teams in the conference. You have to play well, and you have to play better each and every week if you want to continue to win. And I really thought our guys went to UAPB with the right mindset. And that's really the biggest thing with our football team. If we hit the field with the right mindset and play the way we're capable of playing, we just as good as anybody on any given Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up for questions for Coach Odom with Southern.
Coach, this is Jim Klein, Peter. Just wanted to see if you saw anything on film that you didn't realize and what some of your impressions were.
Not really. The biggest thing coming out of this game, Jim, is the tight end position. Just really trying to figure out how we're going to play going forward. Some guys are a little banged up and probably going to have to work on a lot of 10 personnel, this off week and getting ready for PV, getting 10 personnel out on the field a little bit more and trying to really get some things going because some tight ends are banged up. Other than that, we really don't have any issues or concerns that we saw. We got some fundamental things that we got to work on, and we needed the bye week to really get to work on those things. And I think that it's a needed bye week to get some rest and try to get some guys recovered and really get our best football team back out there on the field after the bye week.
By 10 formations, do you mean one back? And
yes, 4 wide receivers, 1 back.
How many receivers? Because you're going out.
4 wide receivers, Jim.
Oh, 4 wides and 1 back. Okay. And I guess Jeremiah Houston's hurt. Who's hurt right now?
Banged up. Really, it's the 2 backups, which probably going to limit us in some 12 personnel.
Jeremiah is hurt and the 2 backups?
The 2 backups are.
Oh, just the 2 backups. And who are they?
They just banged up a little bit. Jadarian Davis and Travis Tucker.
Do you have any other injuries? Do you have any? You expect everybody to be ready for PV in 2 weeks?
Everybody else is just, those nagging football injuries that a good bye week should get them 100% recovered. So other than that, we should have everybody ready to go for the PV game.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, when you have that, would you prefer to be week since it seemed like everything kind of came together for you in that game, what you've been all year? Would you rather be playing this week or you?
Well, we'd rather have a bye week. And the reason we need that bye week, Jim, we had that back-to-back. We went to Tallahassee, then we had to go to Arkansas. So that's a lot of road trips. We don't play about 5 games. We've been on the road, Jim. So we need that. We need that time to heal up and rest our bodies and get rid of it.
Coach, one of my few questions that I had for you was just the job that you guys, your defensive unit, was able to performance they were able to put up against Pine Bluff as far as from the rushing game. Obviously, Porter's a big factor of what they do on the ground, but you guys were able to limit them in totality as a team, rushing to 61 yards. So just talk a little bit about the effort defensively for you guys on your front seven.
I think it's tremendous effort because I think most teams in our conference, they are blessed with a great running game and great running backs. And that's been our motto since I've been here as the head coach is we got to do a great job of defending the run. And I think if you can do that, it increases your chances of winning in this conference. Got some quarterbacks that can throw the football, and, I take my chances. I tell people all the time, I think the way you look at your football team toughness and you look at how you respect it around the conference from inside and outside the conference, I think the number one stat that you look at, that's run defense. And I think it's 11 guys on the ground and one guy carrying the football. And it's pride. And it's pride in how you go about doing it. It's pride in how you hit the field and you attack the field when it comes to running the football. And I'm a Sam Washington disciple who's the head coach at A&T. I played for him, and it did not matter, and it does not matter. You go stop the run. And I learned that as a player, and I believe that as a coach. You go into a football game as a defensive-minded coach that we're going to put emphasis on stopping the run. And that's where it starts with the Jags. And if we can do that, we like chances on Saturday.
Yeah, Coach, could you tell me what your practice schedule is going to be? You're going to give the players some time off, and how you're going to go about it?
Pretty much the same practice schedule. We do everything pretty much the same every year during the bye week. We'll adjust it. We'll give our guys a chance to really focus on their bodies and recovery, cut our practice times back a little bit, focus on our next opponent, and really try to get our football team mentally and physically healthy as possible. So I really think we'll still go the same days that we normally practice, and we'll get ready for this next game. But we'll cut back a little bit and give our guys a chance to rest and recover.
Be off like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or y'all aren't going to practice those days?
No. We'll practice. We'll practice on Sunday because that's normally a day that our guys come in and get a little bit of work. So we'll give them a couple of days. They ain't gonna get that many days off, but we'll give them a couple of days off.
Good morning, Coach. Mike Prince. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Mr. Prince. How you doing?
I'm doing real good. Look, man, I'm beginning to wonder if you get with the scheduling gods, man. This is the second year in a row you got a bye week getting ready to face off against Prairie View, and I know this come at a great time for you to get some healing in. And last year you were at an adverse challenge, backs were to the walls, and that bye week became instrumental. What are some of the things that you work on besides the obvious of healing injuries and possibly adding some new plays as the mental approach of having your guys in mid-season, having a week off in between games?
Really, we do a great job of evaluating where we are. At this point in time in the season, get a chance to self-scout a little bit and really get a chance to get some guys out there that may have been out, that may needed some more reps. Do a great job of evaluating during the bye week of some other guys that are down the line guys that may be able to help you and be able to get those guys some reps and really just focus on the fundamentals. It's no secret. I think every coach has a way of doing things during the bye week. Ours is mindset. We're not playing this week, so getting ready for a football game that's going to be played on Saturday. We're not playing this Saturday, so you try to channel your actions to some different things. And what we try to do is really work on our attention to detail and work on the Jags. We think it's enough time for us to get ready for our next opponent. The biggest opponent this week we got to work on is the Jags. And if we can get the Jags playing, we play this past Saturday, we're going to have a chance going down the stretch.
Now, Coach, you say you're going to use this for working on the Jags, and I know that there had been not a controversy, that's too strong of a word, but a challenging from the quarterback's position. There was talks of Daniels and even Lampkins possibly getting back into the rotation. Will you use this bye week as a way of fine-tuning and assessing the quarterback play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to assess it. I think we know who our start is. It's just getting him mentally locked in to go out and prepare to be the best that he can be once he's out there. And that's really what it's all about. We'll have a good game plan. We was prepared to use McDaniels on Saturday, but Skelton played really well. And that's the guy we're accustomed to playing for us. And it's just all about giving him that confidence and believing in him and trusting him that he's going to go out there and do the job that we ask him to do. And if he continues to prepare the right way, we won't have no problems at quarterback. And we don't have the controversy, like you said. We always have conversation with our football team, and it's the starter's responsibility for us not to have conversation, but it's the backup's responsibility to create conversation. And McDaniel has done that with his play when he's gone into the game.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Coach Odoms, we appreciate your time on the call as we do every week, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Coach Jags.
We'll now go to our final call of the day. We'll be joined by head coach Clarence McKinney. This past week, the Tigers, dropped a 68-31 decision to Houston Baptist. We'll be joined by head coach McKinney. Do we have Coach McKinney on the line?
Coach McKinney's here.
Coach McKinney, thank you so much for joining us and adjusting your time slot here up as we were running a little bit fast on the call, so we really appreciate your flexibility on that. Coach, if you could please just start us out with the opening recap of your team's most recent outing against Houston Baptist.
Went over Houston Baptist, crosstown rival, and took one on the chin, so to speak. We really got ourselves in the foot. Didn't capitalize on some opportunities, didn't finish some drives, gave the ball away 4 times that kind of put us behind the 8-ball. Spotted them 30 points, and then once we got down 30, we decided we were ready to play. And that's something, as you know, you can't do versus good teams. But our guys competed from start to finish. We've got to take care of some minor things as far as taking care of the football and assignment and alignment and things of that nature. And looking forward to getting back in the conference play this week and seeing if we can be a better football team.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll now open it up for questions for Coach McKinney with Texas Southern.
Good morning, Coach. Mike Prince. How are you today, sir?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
All right. Well, moving forward, as you mentioned, is you got a conference game, Alabama A&M. They've been up and down as far as the admission from Coach Maynor. What are you going to see some of your keys? We know about executing and not hurting yourself, but some of the keys to stopping the Bulldogs this week.
You're talking about a really prolific passing game they have, and that they're really a balanced team, but I believe they're leading our league in passing. They run the ball just as effectively, so we definitely have our hands cut out.
Now, what are some of the strengths that you're seeing that your team is doing well heading to Alabama?
We're doing a better job of taking care of the quarterback. We've stopped the run. Not as well as we'd like, but we've improved in that department. And our secondary has really competed. I know we've given up quite a few yards, but that's been a lot of screens and things of that nature. But when the ball's in the air on deep balls, we've went up and competed and kind of stayed away from penalties and things of that nature. So we're giving ourselves some opportunities. We're just inconsistent.
Right. And would you say that is that part of the combination of having a young team and still getting acclimated to the new system?
Definitely. We have a lot of guys that are playing together for the first time, playing in a new system. And as coaches, we're trying to learn what our guys can and can't do, and our players are trying to learn what's expected of them. So it just takes some time for all those things to come together.
Okay, and my final thought and question would be this, Coach. With everything, what has life been like for you adjusting, as a new head coach, and then over to the Southwestern Athletic Conference?
Sitting in the head coach's chair, you're responsible for the total program, so that's been an adjustment for me. But as far as football in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, to me, ball is ball. I've been at every level, middle school all the way to Power 5, and the SWAC is no different. It's about blocking, tackling, and execution. And we're looking forward to getting back into league play and seeing if we can win a few ball games.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. Safe travels and good luck next week, or this week, I should say.
Thank you. Thank you, Wayne.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your play at quarterback from Johnson this past weekend, throwing for 420 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, DeAndre is starting to get really comfortable with what we're asking him to do. We got some really talented guys on the outside that can catch and run after the catch. He's done a tremendous job for us of finding those guys when we protected them. And we feel like if we can protect him a little bit more and get him more comfortable with what we're asking him to do from a scheme standpoint, the sky's the limit, because he's a tremendous talent, great arm strength, and really good with his feet.
Coach McKinney, again, thank you again for adjusting your schedule to hop on the call early, and we look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thank you.
This conclude our teleconference for Monday, September 30th. Thank you for all of those that joined, and we will begin the teleconference next Monday. Thank you.